The Beer Brothers is a comedy podcast where two dumb babies related by blood grew up and now review beers for you, the people. You can drink along if you'd like, but maybe don't do it in your car on the way to work. Drink responsibly. At home. In the dark.
Welcome back to episode number 43 of Beer Brothers. We're very excited again to be here, for the 43rd time that we've been here. Don't worry, guys. I've taken my tooth out for this episode, so there might be a lot of stuff going on. This is Nashville's number one beer podcast and the only beer podcast for Nashville. So, with that being said, I'm Cody.
I'm Micah.
Let's get weird.
Woo! Let's do it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Thanks for joining the five. We had someone leave, so now
we had some room. We made some room. We killed someone off, and now we we needed a new five.
All hail the five.
All hail the new five. All right.
There we go. All right, so our beer for this episode is from Mill Creek, which is out of Nashville. This is one that we're excited is still around. They had some issues just as far as maybe being too aggressive with trying to grow their product, and so that kind of gave them a backlash and almost caused them to ruin. But their beer is...
I don't know about that. I think it was just like they put a lot of money in without residual returns.
That's right. Yeah.
It's
just their marketing was too aggressive.
Yes.
That's what it was. They expanded beyond what they could actually provide for, and that's okay to be ambitious because this beer is delicious.
Is really good. They actually make great beer, and they knew that. Unfortunately, they did not have the money to keep going. So they actually a couple months ago, maybe I think it might have even been before Christmas, had mentioned like that they were shutting down, and a lot of people were like, "Oh shit, this sucks," because they actually make really good beer. And then I think I'm not sure if some funding came in or if I have no idea what happened. I think some new investors might have come in to help, but they're back and they're just as good as they were before. And I hope that they stay around for a while because I do love this beer. So today we are reviewing Mill Creek's Lil Darlin'. And this is the description on their website. Citrusy, soft, sweet. The name says it all. Orange peel and coriander give this gem of a wheat beer a pleasant citrus touch. Smooth, light-bodied, and refreshing, it's delightfully complex, yet satisfying. Drink it on a sun-drenched back patio with someone you'd like to get to know a little better. Little post-Valentine beer there for you. It's a 4.5% ABV and 11 on IBU. The color is just this beautiful, like citrus, like light citrusy, sort of like a lemon orange combo.
Yep. This is a fantastic beer for anyone who has been hooked to Blue Moon for a long time and is afraid of venturing out of that, which, I mean, hopefully you're not. But it is very refreshing, very easy to drink, and does have a lot of those orange notes to it that you love from a Blue Moon.
Yeah, it does. It's a little different because Blue Moon's technically a Belgian-styled ale with the coriander.
Right.
This is more of a classic wheat ale with like citrus coriander infusion. So it definitely has a lot of the same notes, a lot of the same flavors, but it's not the same process essentially as what a Belgian would go through, or like the same, hot barleys or whatever they might use for a Belgian ale. So it's a little bit different.
I'm going to put this out there for Mill Creek. If you want to be a sponsor at like a 5K, this would be amazing at the end of a race.
Oh,
I would
so
devour this because it'd be like, you know what? I ran a 5K. I feel good. A little celebratory beer at the end. And this is refreshing enough because of the ABV that you don't feel like you're just going to get smashed after one.
It's delicious. It's a very crushable beer. This is crushable as hell. I was at, so there is a VFW hall in East Nashville called American Legion Post 82. And every Tuesday, and this is a pretty popular spot over there. It's a very kind of hip part of town. They do this thing called Honky Tonk Tuesdays, and they have 3-4 bands come in. They kind of play some older style folk, honky tonk, 1950s, 1960s country music. Kind of just like this sweet, sultry, easy dancing sort of country that's not like the radio stuff you hear today.
Old country.
Yeah, old
good
country
stuff.
Yeah, you come in, you can give them a donation at the door to keep the place running. You can tip the band throughout the night. But you will spend very little money on alcohol there. They had these little darlings on tap for $3 a pint, and I just drank a shit ton of those the whole night, and it was awesome. Apparently Robert Plant showed up, who's the lead singer of Led Zeppelin, if you don't know that. He was just hanging out there. It's a cool spot. A lot of people come through. If you're ever through on a Tuesday night in Nashville, it's one of the cooler spots in town to go to. But I was really glad to see Little Darling there. I kind of had forgotten that Mill Creek had made this little comeback. So I was very happy to come in and promote this today. And like I said, it is crushable because I think I had like 5 of this.
One thing that I think we miss on this podcast, that because Nashville is such an it city and there's so many people that come here. I sent you that picture. There's a magazine called The Bachelorette or whatever. There's a magazine, okay, guys, for this damn city. Because there's so many bachelorette parties coming here. So I guess single guys, if you're wanting to get with any of the bridesmaids there, this is the place to go or something. Yeah. I don't know. But
so we're the number one. A couple years ago, we passed Vegas for the number one bachelorette city in America, which has also been pushing us in the bachelor party side of things because bachelors want to go where the bachelorettes are. They also want to go where strippers are, so Vegas will always be number one.
Yeah, but our strip clubs, they're not that good.
Yeah, but apparently
I've never been to any of them, but I'm just saying they're not that good.
They're not that good. This is what I've heard. I don't know if that bachelor part's true, but the bachelorette part is true. So the city, there's a lot of that. It kind of sucks. But on the cooler outside parts of town, there's some badass stuff that you can still go do.
And I think one thing that we do, I feel like we do an okay job of talking about in here. We do a little bit of disservice to the outside part, there are a lot of cool places to go around the city that are not on Broadway. They're not the honky tonks. They're not like your normal, hey, country and boots and cowboy hats and stuff.
Yeah, it's a very foodie town. A lot of alcohol here. Just the other day, we went with some friends. There's a place called Pennington's Distillery. They make, I don't know if you've seen this liqueur, this Tennessee cream liqueur called Whisper Creek. But it's like sort of basically like a Tennessee version of Bailey's.
Oh, okay.
They do different flavors. They have like a mocha, they have a peanut butter chocolate, they have a classic, and I think a pumpkin spice. But they also do Pickers vodka, which I'm sure you've heard of.
Oh, yeah.
So they have right next to Fat Bottom Brewery in the Nations, which is like the west side of Nashville. They have Pennington Distillery. Most people find it because they pass Fat Bottom and then see it, and they're like, "Oh wait, this isn't Fat Bottom. This is someplace else."
Right.
They do a tasting and a tour for $10. You can just do the tasting for $5, and they literally were pouring half shots of everything they had. They had 5 different vodkas, 4 different cream liqueurs, 4 flavored ryes, which we didn't mess with that because I didn't want flavored rye, and then they had 2 bourbons. 2 bourbons, 2 sour mashes, and then like a specialty bourbon.
Wow.
We literally could have done all of them. I think I did 7 or 8 half shots in that time frame of like all the different things.
Yep.
For $5. And it was great. I did do the additional 5 for the tour. The tour wasn't much, but it was kind of cool. It was just, they showed us the little space that they do all the stuff in. They showed us the barrels. They showed us the activated yeast of the corn the corn that's kind of like in the mash tun, and they showed us like the activated, like they touched it and it just started moving. It came to life because they're like, it's a living organism, and it was really cool, very informational. But yeah, there's stuff like that. And then we went to this weird new hotel. I don't even remember the name of it.
What do you mean weird new hotel?
There's a new hotel downtown.
Everybody's
it's off Broadway. It's off Broadway. It's closer to Vanderbilt. And you walk in. It's really nice, but then you notice that there's some strange like art, like Taco Bell mural art. It's really weird. That I'm not kidding. Like Actually says Taco Bell on it. It's like their emblem. So I was like, okay, guess you're just appealing to a certain crowd here, but whatever. And they have a bar in there called Critters.
Oh.
And this is the weirdest place ever because it's technically a karaoke sing-along bar, but the band behind you are like animatronic animals, like you would see at Chuck E. Cheese.
What?
And it's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. It's really funny. They do some drinks. Drink prices aren't great, but they do have like $5 special beers, like craft beers that come in can. They'll do like 2 different ones. Tried those out. They were okay. Really weird, really interesting place. Didn't love it because the Bears were
You didn't want the Chuck E. Cheese band
They were
singing
creeping
behind
me out, dude. I wasn't doing the singing. I wasn't doing it.
Speaking of which, I watched the Goofy movie yesterday.
Oh, I love the Goofy movie.
Yeah, Disney Plus, man, is just so like good. They're killing it. And I had watched a couple other movies. I finally watched the new Lion King. I noticed with the Lion King, you didn't have to really pay attention to it, you know, like because it was so close to the.
It's very close
the
to
animated.
They changed a couple.
I know
of
the
small
story.
Things.
Like, I get it. I was doing laundry and work.
Yeah.
Whatever. To go back to Critters.
Yeah.
After that was over, I put on a Goofy movie, which on Netflix, the only thing that you can find from a Goofy movie is an extremely Goofy movie, which is the sequel.
Yeah, which
and
is
Disney
okay.
Plus has the classic,
both.
which is what I want. Like, I don't care about the extremely Goofy movie.
Yeah.
It's not as good. And so there's that whole scene where he's like, "Oh, Max, I'm going to take you to a special treat." And he like takes him to the possum farm.
Dude,
or
that
whatever.
part kills me every time.
And it's like the mechanical
mechanical
possum.
They're like falling apart. That's kind of, you know what? It's a little how this felt, but like a more celebrated thing. It was weird.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I did have some videos of it I had to delete because I think I had to make room on my phone, which is unfortunate. But it was weird, man. It was really strange.
Oh, well, I'm just going to say, in a Goofy movie, that possum farm is so accurate. Like,
it is.
And it's typical that Disney could nail it because they have the Bear Jamboree in Disney World, which is... Dude, it is that. It is the possum place. And there's like kids screaming.
It's almost like Disney making fun of itself a little bit.
A little bit, and it was fantastic. But that's what I think of when you say Critters. I so want to go there and do karaoke with a whole band behind me.
It's so weird. Okay. Well, speaking of it cities, we were talking about it cities and bachelorette cities. So apparently Charleston is also a big bachelorette city.
Yes, okay.
And
it's up and coming.
And I went there over the holiday break because I was on a cruise with some friends. It was Carnival, and we've expressed that in the episode, but I forgot to tell this story the first night I was in Charleston. And we had been drinking most of that day already, kind of sporadically.
Right.
So I think I just kind of forgot, especially with all the craziness of the cruise stuff, but because we had gotten a drink at the airport before we left. There was a Yazoo like tap room stand right next to our boarding location, so like we had a beer, got on the plane. The flight's an hour. We had a drink on the plane, got off the plane, got to our hotel, went out to bars, and this woman had told us about this gyro stand on the corner. Okay, I love gyros. I think they're delicious, fantastic.
Oh, they're amazing.
Love some good falafel, hummus, all that good stuff. She's like, this place is so good, you gotta try it. It's amazing. And I was like, man, I might do that at the end of the night. So met some friends at a bar, had a drink. We left there, went to another bar, had another crazy drink. Was feeling it pretty good, sat and had a ton of food throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's walk down the corner, let's get some of this gyro, and let's go back to the hotel. So we go down. It's just literally a food truck. So we order it. Also, Charleston's just full of bros. Just gonna side note there. I don't get it. It's just literally mostly bros. It was
it's college
really
town though, right?
No.
What?
It's not. Charleston's not.
I know it's a big.
They have no colleges.
It's
there.
a big beer town though.
It is a big beer town. It's a big drinking town. It's like an old South. It is up and coming, but there was so many bros out when we went. It was a sausage fest like everywhere. It was really weird. Really weird.
Vitamin
this
D
is
on display.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just because of the time of year or what, but anyways. So we're sitting there waiting on our food. We're just standing. And so this is the scene. There's two guys in the food truck, okay? The corner of a sort of we're at the edge of this strip where all these bars are. So sort of busy-ish area. There is 4 friends sitting at a table eating food. And then at another table on the other side of the food truck to the right is 2 or 3 guys, I can't remember, playing cards, okay? Hanging out. This is like 12, okay, midnight. So we're sitting there, and this like Mustang pulls up out of nowhere and just kind of like slides into the parking lot. And I'm thinking, oh man, this guy's in a rush to get some fucking gyro. So, anyways, so the guy gets out of his car, and he comes up to us, and he's like, "Which one of you motherfuckers want to fight?" And me and Lauren looked at each other, and I kind of looked around, and I was like, "Is he talking to anyone specific?" And then he's like, "Who wants to fight me? Who is it? Who is it?" And I was kind of like thinking in my head, like, "Am I supposed to volunteer? Like, I'll fight you, sure."
I am Spartacus.
Yeah, is this? Yeah. I was like, "Is this just like fair game? Like, are you just running around town trying to find people to fight you, and you decided to pull up on a gyro stand with a bunch of, young adults?" It was really weird. And so, literally, though, what was weird is that almost no one acknowledged this guy. Like, I didn't say hi to him. I just kind of looked at him. People at the card table kind of looked up, looked back down at the cards. People eating food on the other side looked up, kind of like, okay, looked back at their food, just continued. Very strange. And he's kind of like hopping around like a yappy little dog, just like, "Oh, yeah, who wants to get it?" And then, speaking of dogs, my dog's barking, if you hear that in the background.
He's a yappy dog, I'm here.
Hey, that's me, baby. So then this woman gets out of the driver's seat. And she stands up, and I don't know if her belly was hanging out because she was pregnant and the shirt was too small, or if she just had a hanging out belly. I don't know. So he's yelling, and no one's paying attention to him, and she gets out of the car, and he's like, "Who wants to fight? Who wants to fight?" And she says, it's like, "Get back in the car. He ain't even here no more. He already left." And so he's like, "You tell him I'm going to be back here tomorrow. I work tomorrow." So from what I surmised there in that sentence was that he works at the food truck.
Yep.
That's why no one gave a shit. That's typical Jonathan or whatever his name was, just hanging out by the food truck being crazy. He was going to come back tomorrow because he assumed the person he was looking for was going to be there in the morning. I don't know why. Apparently this man was talking to his woman with the hangout belly. I don't know. It was really weird and really bizarre, but that woman's voice will be forever stuck in my memory of, "He already left. He ain't even here no more." He already left.
All right, so here's what I would have loved to
So
have had
stupid.
happen for you.
Yeah.
Is if you stood up very confidently,
Okay.
and said, "Who you looking for?" And then he say the name, and then you'd be like, "That's my name,"
That's me.
I'm the one.
I would have gotten rocked.
Really? You
Yeah,
think?
probably. I
You
mean,
would-
who knows? Maybe not, but
I'm kind of shocked that nobody stood up.
well, because no one had a clue what he was talking about or doing. And the guys in the food truck
So
were
it's
just
five. It's 7 people out in front of this Euro
there's
truck.
6 people there, and then me and Lauren.
Oh,
And we're
8
just,
people. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's 2 dudes in the food truck. So we're just like standing there like, okay.
Yeah, the guys in the food truck are just like shaving off like
I'm
Euro meat.
I'm sitting there. I mean, they were literally just standing there like, okay. I was in my brain. I was about to be like, "I'm just waiting for a Euro." Okay, sorry.
It might have even been better if you'd stood up and be like, "Who you looking for?" He's like, "I'm looking for Matt," and you're like, "That's wow."
He
I don't know.
already left. He ain't even here no more. Just do it. It's like really.
She said. Yeah, exactly.
Say exactly what she said.
Like that. Well, it's not. He's not here, man. He already
Yeah.
left.
Tell him like some random place he went to. Like he went down to the Wendy's on 12th.
The Shell station. I saw him at the Shell station.
Yeah.
That's where you need to go.
Oh man, that was just like it was one of the weirdest things. Like you don't see those things. It was just weird. I just felt like an observer of something that like shouldn't have happened.
Have you ever seen a fight break out like in person that you're just like, is this happening? Oh, this is happening.
Yeah, at when I went to go to the UT game, there was a dude. It was
University
the South
of
Carolina
Tennessee,
UT
by the
game
way.
this year. Yeah,
Okay.
Tennessee, not Texas. Fuck Texas. I'm just kidding. It's fine. Texas is
Fuck
fine,
you,
whatever.
Longhorns.
Yeah, fuck you, Longhorn.
Listen to our podcast. Anyway.
Yeah, let's do a podcast. It's fine. But no, I went to the Tennessee South Carolina football game, and there was like South Carolina lost, and we were coming out of the stadium, and there was these like 4 college age bros, and we just saw there like a fight broke out, and one of them's just like rocks the other one a couple of times, and the dude's like bleeding and shit. And we walk up, and they're like, and then they start like chanting at the guy, like, he's a pussy.
Oh,
And
no.
and there's like kids walking around.
Is this on the square?
No, this is like on the bridge, like leaving the stadium. Like we were outside the stadium, but there's
Oh
like
my
a
God.
bridge to go towards like the campus. But there's like kids and shit, and we were just like, dude. And so people were like telling these dudes, like, shut up, just like stop. Like it's over, just let it go. It's fine, you won, like whatever. What was crazy is those 2 dudes the dudes who were chanting that didn't even fight. What happened is there was a dumb argument. The drunk South Carolina fan, I think, threw his beer on him, and a random dude came up and sucker punched the dude,
Oh, no.
which is BS.
Yeah, that's not a
And
fight.
then these 2 older women were like trying to say stuff to the guys, like, y'all need to be quiet. And then they kind of start getting into these 2 older women's face. And Lauren was like trying to hold me back, and I just slung her hand off. I was like, nope. And I just walked up and I grabbed him and I pushed him away. I was like, you need to keep walking. You got your hits in. Like, leave them the fuck alone and get the fuck
Man,
out of here.
really?
Yeah, it was crazy. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. And they were like way bigger than me. I'm like tiny, you know. But I didn't care in that moment. I was like, you're not going to just start trash talking 2 old women.
You went Napoleon on him. You're
Yeah,
like,
he's like, I mean, they were probably like in their early 20s. I'm like 30, and they're like trash talking these 2 older women who were telling them to be respectful because they were yelling, he's a pussy, in front of a bunch of kids. Of course, then I'm over there saying like, get the fuck out of here, and there's like a kid there's a kid behind me, and you could tell the dad was like, oh, like covering his child's ears, you know, and Lauren was like, yeah, I think that dad was happy about it.
I've taken my kids to a lot of sporting events, being a fan of the Nashville Predators, and have been many a times where there's been people that are just they're just letting it loose.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's going on, and I always tell them like, hey, it's part of the
happens.
world. Yeah, it happens. I mean, you need
people
to say
suck.
it. Yeah, they're assholes. So
Yeah,
Anyway.
it was dumb. They were assholes. Anyways, man, we've gone on a whole tangent about different things today. We're talking about critters and then fights and
we talked about anything but President's Day, which is what my goal was. So
yes,
yeah, that was my goal. So
That's
here we
good.
go. Let's
good.
review this beer.
we stayed away from the politics. We got into other dumb
Football and
Yeah.
people starting fights,
Gyros.
and movies, and that's kind of what the political, thermostat feels like right now. Let's talk about anything.
shit. Anything and everything.
And if I have a certain lisp right now, it's because I put my tooth back in, and I can't help it. Anyway,
All
let's review this beer. How many beer babies for this beer? I'm going to give it. It's a damn good beer, man.
That's great.
I'm never gonna give any beer a perfect 5.
It would take a lot for me. It would take a lot to hit a perfect 5. Like, it would take me just being like, holy shit, this is the best beer I've ever had.
Yeah, and this one, I mean, this one's really, really,
it's
really good. So I'm kind of conflicted because I want to give it a perfect, but it's not.
It's not. No, it's hard. I'm going to give it a 4.7. I'm going to give it 4 and about down to the knees of a beer baby. You know, you're going to have to put some of those like blades on to run with or whatever sort of a situation.
Yeah.
It's just knees down is nothing and the rest up.
I'm going to give it a 4.75 just because I
Okay.
like doing things in quarters.
Okay,
so,
that's fair. That's fair.
You know, you can't get too minimal
Okay.
on the ratings.
Yeah,
but,
I guess 4 and down to the knees would be 4 and a quarter.
4 and 3/4.
Okay.
But this is a fantastic
Say that's our best
beer.
rating yet since we've started this new rating system. That's pretty good. This is a great beer. I could drink a lot of these very easily. This might be a new go-to when I want a citrusy, sweet, sort of yummy wheat beer.
I will say this is the reason for the 7.5, and because of when we're trying it. And if we were trying it in summer, it would still be near the same.
Yeah, it'd probably be a 4.8. Like,
yeah, just
push
a
it up
little
a little.
warmer, 4.85.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it said like do things in quarters, but it's because it's cold. This is a very warm beer. It's something you enjoy by the pool, and it's rainy and shitty here. So
I will say though, like Blue Moon is a beer that I always like. If you're comparing it to something else, Blue Moon is a beer I always kind of drink in the fall.
mine's
really
a summer,
winter.
Like it's a warm. That's a warm one for me.
So I guess it just depends on the season. So I'm fine with it. For me, this is sort of year round. I wouldn't drink it in the dead of winter, but definitely like late winter, early spring, and onward would definitely, which is kind of where we're at right now. I feel like it's fairly appropriate.
So 4 3/4. Give it, some babies and knees. Anyway,
knees and babies and babies and knees.
This has been Beer Brothers. I'm Cody.
I'm Micah.
Bye.